Hello everybody, hello. Welcome back to Tao Marshall, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and giving my honest opinions on the iPhone 16e. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so what is the iPhone 16e? Now the iPhone 16e is actually the cheapest iPhone you can buy from Apple's website. It is cheaper than the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. So it costs $599 for the 128 gigabyte storage option, but Apple, it's 2025. Why do we still have 128 gigabytes as a starting storage? I think I'll at least expect 256. I mean, I get it, it's a budget phone, but 128 gigabytes you'll spend in no time, like literally, yes. So, I'm gonna go over this phone first. So the build quality of this phone is pretty good. We get a matte glass back, matte rails, and we get one single camera. It's a 48 megapixel fusion camera, also a main camera. We get a 6.1 inch display. It's not a ProMotion display. It is only 60 hertz. Hopefully they can get it to 120 hertz in the next generation, but it is very laggy. That's one of the biggest complaints I have with this phone. Maybe make it to 120 hertz, and it has a notch. I mean, I'm not that big a fan of the notch. I would prefer the Dynamic Island or a hole punch, but this is what we get. So what I think Apple has done here with the 16e is basically they take the body, like they take the specs of a iPhone 14, they slap it in to the body of the iPhone SE, which is now redesigned. So yeah, first of all, I want to talk about the camera, right? We get a 48 megapixel fusion and main camera, but no ultra-wide or telephoto camera. I'm not saying they should have one. I'm saying other competition has one. For example, the Google Pixel 9a that just came out. It has a second ultra-wide camera, so it's a 48 megapixel main camera and a 13 megapixel ultra-wide. I would have preferred an ultra-wide here because I'm just so used to having an ultra-wide camera on my phone. So it kind of feels like you're missing it, but the 48 megapixel camera is pretty good quality. So yeah, so I would say that this phone has quite a good price to value. Not very good, like not the best, but I mean it's alright. So next, moving on with the display, it, as I have said, is a 6.1 inch display with 60 hertz, would have been 120 hertz, and it has notch. Okay, what do I think about the screen? 60 hertz gets laggy, like when you are scrolling through the home screen, it basically feels a bit laggy, but other than that, a lot of people will not notice the difference, but this is a big difference for me because if it's a 60 hertz phone, it cannot be my daily driver. So yes, battery life on this phone, I've been using it. I mean, it's good because it has the A18 chip, which is pretty efficient. I would say every time I use it day to day, and then when I come back, it's about 15-20%, and I do some gaming. I consume a lot of content. I take a lot of photos. So battery life is alright. So and for context, I wake up at like 9 in the morning every day, and I come back at 9 at night. So battery life is pretty good. As I've said, oh right, there's a new button on this phone. It has the action button because basically the action button was only on the 15 Pros last year, but now we get it on 16e. That's pretty good. I prefer the action button over the silent adjustment. So action button, you can basically program it to whatever you want. That is pretty good. And now, the iPhone 16e, as I've said, is a spiritual successor to the iPhone SE. Though Apple would not think it that way, the SE was the company's budget-friendly phone. And I wouldn't say this one is now budget-friendly. I mean, it is $600, but the design was wildly outdated for the SE, but it was only $429. It was good to have a budget phone. So now this is a mid-range phone instead of a budget phone. $600 for this phone. I would like to think the price to value is halfway there. It's like 50%. It's not the best because you are still missing out on some things. For example, the camera control button, ultra-wide camera, and the Dynamic Island, some other stuff like that. What's good about this phone is it has the A18 chip, which is basically the same chip you get on the iPhone 16. However, there is a catch though. It gets lower cores, but so basically the GPU cores, it's a bit lower, but performance should be comparable. Anyways, next I want to kind of talk about the performance. As I've said, performance is pretty good. I'm seeing no lags whatsoever. Like if you're really running really high-end games, you might have a bit of lag, but overall, day-to-day use, you're completely fine. You're good to go. And yes, so it is missing MagSafe. That is one of the problems I have with this phone. MagSafe has basically been a part of the Apple ecosystem, so I don't know why they didn't put it on here. Like, so all your MagSafe accessories will not be able to connect to this phone, but at least it still has wireless charging. I really would have preferred MagSafe. So that's one of my complaints. And it still has the basic Qi wireless charging. So yeah. Camera system is pretty good, but it's just a bit less processed than the 16 or 16 Pros. And it has one entirely new component. Apple's brand new C1 modem. They designed it themselves. So basically it's a new one, but it's not in the iPhone 16s. They used to use the Snapdragon ones, but now they design it themselves. But as I've said before, this is basically an iPhone 14's body. So hopefully it will be cheaper to repair. But if there's a brand new C1 modem, will that be still easier to repair and cheaper to repair? I'm not sure. So phone repairmans out there, please take highlight of this. And coming from an older phone, if you're, for example, having a 13 or 12 or maybe even an 11, for the performance you can actually feel the difference. But cameras, when you're missing an ultra-wide camera, no matter how good the main sensor is, you kind of miss out. So I really would have wished there was an ultra-wide here, but okay. So yeah, overall this one is pretty good. It's just the ultra-wide camera, 120 Hz, and MagSafe. Those are my three biggest complaints of this phone. Rest is all pretty good. Size, I like the size. It's very comfortable in the hand. I like how they squared up all the dimensions, so it's now a more square-ish phone. So basically, it feels like it should offer all the essentials, but it's hard to say what an essential iPhone feature is and what's not. Probably more like a combination of features. For some people, the 16E will likely be enough and they'll be happy with it. But without MagSafe, it really doesn't work. And with a 60 Hz display, it's not going to be my daily driver. But for some people, this phone is very solid. Overall, this phone is pretty good. Get it if you're fine with missing out on a 120 Hz display. You're fine without an ultra-wide camera, and you're fine without MagSafe. Then go ahead, purchase the phone. Yes, so that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. I will be posting a video where I compare this phone to the Pixel 9a, so stay tuned for that, so I can pick the better option for you. Stay tuned for that video. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next video. See you guys.